Hi, my name is Sarah Young. I'm a Leading Fellows postdoc from Erasmus University Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Today I'm going to be discussing the discourse of classified information policy towards declassification. As a little background on this poster, I'm going to be discussing the Executive Order 13526 issued by President Obama in 2016. And the poster is going to use Carol Bachi's what's the problem represented to be kind of framework for policy analysis, where I just kind of respond to 5 different questions. The interest in the classification of information comes from my prior work history. I worked for approximately 12 years doing background investigations for security clearances in the United States. And I started in 2002, and shortly after 9/11 and the events that transpired there, where the government wanted to classify a lot more information due to reaction to national security risks, and the more information that was classified, the more people that needed clearances to be able to access the spaces and information and the people that had access to that type of information. So that's kind of the reason I wanted to look at this. It's part of a larger project of looking at the declassification of classified documents and the redaction of documents. This is just one piece, and again in the larger puzzle. So the work, I guess I'll just go ahead and start. The 6 questions that I ask are kind of what is the problem that this policy addresses, or the executive order, and basically the executive order is addressing the classification of information, how to do it, the levels, and so forth. The second question are what are the problem's premises? The premises are, that we are democratic governments are encouraged to operate in transparency, and in a way this document represents attempts to be transparent, in that this is it outlines how they are going to classify and declassify, kind of the classification system, but it also transparently says that we are not going to be fully transparent, and there is going to be a portion of information that is not going to be seen by the general public for national security risks, or others might argue other reasons for hiding things. But basically, yeah, the premises are that we are going to classify certain types of information because of the risks that it poses. And so how has the framing of this problem come about? You trace this the lineage of executive orders throughout history. I think one of the probably touch points would be that FDR's executive number, what was it, 8361, how we are defining certain vital military and national installation and equipment, kind of like a origin of the idea of some of the principles in this executive order. What is left silenced, I think, that mostly is the ideological underpinnings of the national security policy, and the kind of like how it could be interagency operability. I always think that there is issues with how one agency will treat a type of information and the people that have access to that, as opposed to other agencies. So there's always a question of how does this operate across agencies, and I think that we have this executive order that has a blanket statement of how to do things, but it's not always uniformly trusted or used. What effects are produced by the description? The public gets to see how transparency is talked about, and how the classification of information is talked about, and the workers also have to, this helps workers begin to carry that information out. And so as far as distribution, you get this online distribution of this order to view as a public, and you also, as an employee, would be able to reference this document, as well as other handbooks and other things that would help them actually carry out the operationalizing of this policy. So in conclusion, I think this represents only one element, again, of a larger study and look I'm doing at classified information and how we have declassified. But hopefully this will at least start a little insight into what I'm working on, and get some conversation started about classification of information. So thanks.